guys, it's Cece. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're playing some Raid Shadow Legends. And this is super exciting because Plarium has hinted to us that we are getting a new clan boss and given us some of its skills. So we are going to go ahead and take a look at that. However, I do want to remind you guys, if you are a new player to Raid or you're looking to start an alternate account, that you can actually download the game as a new player using my link down below or scanning the QR code on the screen. And by doing that, you're actually going to start your account off with a free legendary champion. On day 1, I will send you Elenaril into your inbox. And at level 25, I'm also going to send you a Uugo. And on top of all of that, they've also extended the code Monkey King. So within 72 hours of downloading the game, you can enter a new player code, which I suggest Monkey King, because then you get Sun Wukong, who is another legendary champion. And this code has now been extended to January the 7th. So all of this is going to give your account such a good start and make things so much easier for you. As I said, Plarium hinted this to us, so they actually sent us some in-game raid mail. And if you opened it up, then you'll see that it said a battle against a new threat to Teleria awaits. And then it kind of goes on to talk a little bit about it with a learn more. As soon as you click learn more, this is what brings us over to the Viper form skill set. So I love that they gave us this and is showing it to us because it kind of already lets you think about what champions you have, what teams you might need to build, or who you can actually use in here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the skills first. So looking at the rarity, so this is going to be a boss, a Viper form, and skills themselves, Putrid Fang. So attacks all enemies. If there are any dead enemies, or if the initial attack kills at least one enemy, it places an extra hit. It has a 50% chance of placing a Fear, True Fear, Freeze, Provoke, Sleep, Stun, or Petrification debuff on each enemy for 1 turn. So right away, you're going to need a cleanse or immunity. You're going to need something that is going to make sure that you're able to kind of remove all of these potential debuffs that can happen onto you, or something that can prevent it from happening in the first place. So something we're going to have to think about. Second skill, Stinger Cyclone. So attacks all enemies. This attack deals single target damage to each target individually rather than AoE damage. It's interesting. Before attacking, places a Hex debuff and 100% heal reduction debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Instantly activates all poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns, then transfers all debuffs from the new clan boss to all enemies under Hex or heal reduction debuffs placed by this skill. Increases the new clan boss's turn meter by 5% for each debuff transferred. So I feel like I'm gonna sound like a broken record here when I'm saying we're gonna need to make sure this doesn't happen. You're gonna need to make sure that you can cleanse and all of that. Unfortunately, with something like this, since it's saying that it's gonna, before attacking, place all these things, essentially you're just gonna want to have some kind of survivability, and again, potentially some kind of immunity on here would also be great, because it's gonna be a little bit rough otherwise to actually have all these debuffs land on you. Next, let's look at the next skill, Haze of Pestilence. So attacks all enemies, of course a lot of AoEs in here. Before attacking, steals all buffs from all enemies except for continuous heal buffs. Places 3 5% poison debuffs, 25% poison sensitivity debuff for 3 turns, then increases the duration of all poison debuffs on all enemies for a turn, instantly activates any poison debuffs on all enemies. So a lot of poison going on with this skill, but also factoring in stealing all buffs from all enemies. So you're thinking of having like a block debuff. If that is stolen, that is something we're going to have to keep in mind. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts already, though. Which are some core champions you think are going to need to be included in here, or at least skills that they have? So are there any specific skills that you think you're going to need to make sure that you have champions in that you're bringing in? Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on who should be brought into this new clan boss. And working our way down, we have Unholy Metamorphs, so transforms the new clan boss into its ultimate form and removes all buffs and debuffs. So kind of a full cleanse on everything. Deathly Contagion. Whenever an enemy is killed, places 1 necrosis stack on all other enemies. Necrosis stacks cannot be resisted or blocked. These stacks can only be removed by reviving dead allies. If multiple champions are revived, the number of necrosis stacks removed is equal to the number of champions revived. Good to know. So essentially, we are going to need a reviver in here of some kind. So lucky for you guys, if you downloaded the game using my link, you have Uugo, who technically she can actually revive. So something to keep in mind. Although you might need to bring in a dedicated reviver. This is something we'll have to play around with and see. But I also want you guys to comment down below and let me know who is a reviver that you really enjoy using in the game. Who do you think is a really good reviving champion? Comment down below. Next, let's look at Enemy of Mortality. So this one being a passive effect. Revived enemies have 25% less HP and 25% less turn meter. I feel like as I'm going through these skills, it gets worse and worse. So we're like, yeah, you need someone to be revived. Now it's like, if they're revived, they have less HP and less turn meter. So whenever the new clan boss kills an enemy and removes any block active skills debuffs from itself. At the start of the new clan boss's turn, transfers all poison debuffs on the new clan boss to all enemies. All transfer debuffs last for 2 turns. And then the active effect denies one enemy revival attempt. If multiple enemies are revived at once, will deny one random revival attempt. This clan boss is just going against everything that we're planning. I'm like, yeah, bring a reviver. And it's like, psych, you can bring one, but we'll make your job harder. And lastly, Almighty Viper. So it is immune to petrification, stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, block passive skills, fear, true fear, hunter's gaze, berserk, and enfeeble debuffs. Also immune to HP exchange effects, HP balancing effects, cooldown increasing effects, turn meter reduction effects, and destroy max HP effects. This clan boss. Incoming damage inflicted by skills that scale based on the new clan boss's max HP cannot exceed 100,000. Easy difficulty. Okay, so it's giving you the numbers there. That's kind of valid with any bosses and things like that. That makes sense. The damage taken from one tick of 2.5% poison debuff cannot exceed. So again, it's just talking about how much damage can actually be done to it. Same thing with the HP burn, reflected damage, and then damage taken from smite debuffs cannot exceed X amount. So it's essentially letting us know what it's immune to, which is a lot, and then also letting you know like the damage it's gonna take is kind of gonna be capped a little bit. So all of that, super valid, I guess, makes sense. But this clan boss is going to be crazy. I do think it is rather exciting that we are getting a new clan boss. I think it's also funny that like first time looking at the skills is with you guys and kind of going down. It's like I'm trying to like theory craft and then I read the next skill and it's like, oh, hold up though. You think you could revive? Well, we're gonna make that a little tougher for you, and I'm actually immune to XYZ. But I'm actually really excited they're bringing in a new clan boss. So again, this is from the perspective of me who is a new player, and I am obviously not at that point yet where I have a ton of champions I'll be able to use for this. But I'm excited for it because it just means it's another thing that we can kind of like theory craft and theory build and see who we want to use in here. So I am super interested and excited to actually hear your thoughts. What do you guys think of the new clan boss? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure that you also subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos when this clan boss is actually live in game and we take a look at it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Next level.